Hello everybody, Mitchell Mr. Hockey here, and today we're going to be discussing should the Montreal Canadiens trade the 15th pick in the NHL draft. After missing the playoffs, they get a good draft pick because of the draft lottery. So they land the 15th pick, and there's a lot of talk. They need They need a defenseman who can play on the left side. They need a winger. They need this and they need that. It kind of boils down to top four left-handed defensemen who can play on the left side and wingers who can score. So that's what I'm going to be arguing. They've said the Canadiens would pick, the Hockey News magazine said they would pick Thomas Harley, a right winger who they said is a good scorer and can create in the offensive zone, which is something the Canadiens need desperately. So today I'm going to be going through the pros and the cons of trading and keeping this pick. One side says keep it, one side says trade it. I did this in pencil, so sorry if you cannot really see it, but yeah. Anyway, we'll be updating this throughout the video. I've been really fighting over this keep it, trade it, keep it for a long time now, ever since I found out that they had the 15th pick. So anyway, reason number one of why you should keep it. Thomas Harley is a good player. Mistake. He's a defenseman, but he plays like sometimes a right wing. He's a two-way defenseman. Everyone admits it, even himself. Some prospects don't. CHL scouting report gave some information on him, so I'll take some information from there. The budding defenseman scored 11 goals and had 58 assists in 68 games for the Mississauga Steelheads. He got a spot with Team Canada for the 2019 U18 IIHF championships, and he got 4 points in 7 games. Okay, and the two most important areas that he excels in is skating. If you can, in the NHL, if you can skate, doesn't really matter how good you are, you can keep up with anybody. For conditioning and skating is good enough, keep up with everybody. And he believes in himself. A lot of rookies come into the league, they're like, hold on here, I'm not quite sure myself. I mean, there's been some, like Connor McDavid, Elias Pettersson did it, some other studs have done it, like Alex Ovechkin. But if you come into the league and you don't feel, and you're not confident in yourself, it could be bad. But players who come into the league with confidence in themselves often have a good career. Here's the article that I've been looking at about him. They say he's a brilliant skater, 6'3", 183 pounds. Harley compares his playing style that to St. John Sea Dogs graduate Thomas Chabot, now with the Ottawa Senators. His off-season goal is to further refine his defensive game, so he'll be looking to get better on defense, it seems. And no, this isn't my MacBook Pro. I am throwing all of these numbers out and points and quotes to try and get a better sense of who he is, but really the two things that stand out for me are his skating and his confidence. So on the list, that scores a big thing for keep the pick. So the first thing for keep it, Thomas Harley will develop into a productive player someday. Sorry about my handwriting, not the best, but that's the first thing. And that counts for a lot, because you don't want to draft a guy who's just going to be not good for you. You want to, if you know this guy is going to be good, that is important. The second reason why you would want to keep this pick and take it on this guy is because the league is always changing. There's always top contenders going down, new teams rising up. Like top contenders, the Capitals, they don't look as good anymore. The Penguins, they don't look as good anymore. New teams rising up, the Islanders, the Jets now, the St. Louis Blues. New teams are rising up, and you don't want to be the team like the Blackhawks or the Canucks or I don't know, I can't. Or even the St. Louis Blues of a couple years ago, where you trade to win, and even if you do win, then in the next years you've spent picks and prospects, and then you're handicapped, and then you don't have good seasons. I mean, the Blackhawks haven't made the playoffs since 2017. That's the longest. In the Jonathan Toews and Patrick Kane era, that is the longest tenure that they have missed the playoffs, I'm pretty sure. Or maybe before they won a cup, but you get it. So, the league is ever-changing. It went over to the traded side of it, but that doesn't matter. The league is ever-changing, and you still need prospects for later years. As the Blackhawks now found themselves without prospects, without draft picks, and in need of change. Even the St. Louis Blues, they turned out well for them, but they still needed to count on Ryan O'Reilly. I mean, who's taken Ryan O'Reilly before? So because of that, even the teams that go on to be successful, it still happens. The Blues missed the playoffs last season. So that's my final argument for the keep it part. Now we're going to go on to the traded part, which is the part that I've been leaning towards the last couple of days. But let's go research and let's see what we come out with. Okay, the first argument is that the Canadiens have spent years developing prospects, and you can't keep doing it. Think about it. Even if there was no Shea Weber, there was no Carey Price, there was no superstar. If you draft your first guy, he goes to the minors, he comes up and he's like, 21, 22? I don't know. And then you try and draft more players. Well, that guy's going to get older until those players come. And so they've got two guys who are coming up next season, this season, 2019 to 2020, in Nick Suzuki was acquired in the Max Pacioretty trade, drafted 13 overall in 2017, and Ryan Poehling, drafted by the Canadiens, 25th overall that same year. And so with these two guys coming up, why do you need this pick when you can use this pick in a trade to fill the holes you need? And this goes right into my second thing. I'll just update I'll update the chart all at once. Why do you need, if you take this pick and you trade it, you can fill up your holes. Okay, so for trade it, you have eventually your prospects will need to be your big boys, in the sense that your prospects, you've got to get them up. You can't keep them in the minors forever. And then the second point is you can use this pick to get a better player to fill your holes. Like, for example, the two left-handed scoring defensemen that the Canadiens have been, they're looking at, and people think they may be trading for them. Jake Gardiner of the Leafs and Shane Gostisbehere of the Flyers. Well, those are good players, I'm not going to lie, but you could get better players if maybe you fill in the draft pick. What am I looking for right now? I'm looking for what did the Vegas Golden Knights get and then trade to become that Stanley Cup final team last year. Just at the start, Golden Knights acquired a 5th-round pick from Hurricanes. Oh, Connor Brickley, I remember him. Alright, I'll just continue the research and I'll rotate when I get some. Alright, look, I found one. Trevor Van Riemsdyk, remember how valuable he was? in the playoffs for Carolina? Well, on June 22nd, 2017, the Vegas Golden Knights trade Trevor Van Riemsdyk to Carolina with a 2018 7th round pick for a 2017 7th round pick. So look, if this was a first round pick, obviously it'd be a better player than Trevor Van Riemsdyk. But you see, the second round pick, they were able to take the second round pick and they're able to get a player instead. Here, look at this. The Golden Knights, here, look in the bottom left corner of your screen. The Golden Knights agreed to select William Karlsson in an expansion draft of Blue Jackets for the first round pick for 2017 first round pick. So they trade this pick for William Karlsson. Look at this. Trade 2017 first round pick to then the Jets. There's a lot of stuff there. Point is, the Golden Knights traded the 24th pick. That is not as valuable, way not as valuable as the 15th pick. They also held the 15th pick that year. But look, they got William Karlsson. William Karlsson, he goes from a third liner in Columbus in 2016-17 from 25 points to a first liner and 78 points in 2017-18. So, I mean, look at the value you can get just by trading your first round pick. And then if you add the value that the Canadiens can put in with their farm system that they've been developing, and oh my goodness, you could see some unbelievable trades. Mark Bergevin's been debated for every single trade he's made the past 3 offseason, the Subban trade, the Sergachev trade, the Galchenyuk trade, but this could maybe be the one where he doesn't get as much scrutiny. Okay, so I just went down the list of the potential upgrades you could have from Jake Gardiner and Shane Gostisbehere, and I've got Oliver Ekman-Larsson, Marc-Edouard Vlasic, go up here. I got Mark Giordano. I got Ryan McDonough. This is still 1 year, a couple years ago, but got Ryan McDonough. Let me keep going up. Let's see who I get. I got down there is Duncan Keith, Nicholas. Well, he's not good anymore. Not as good. No, he's not as good. Victor Hedman was number 1. Nick Leddy, the Canadiens could take a chance on him. I mean, you get my point. There is so much there's so much added you can get with the first round pick. Okay, so this thing is dead even, and I'm not going to make a decision, but I'm just going to maybe go through a bit what I would do if I was the general manager on draft day. What I would basically do is be like, get an agreement of a trade for Shane Gostisbehere and Jake Gardiner and whoever you want, and then if the player you want, well, in this case, Ryan Harley, whatever. So in this case, the player you want, Harley, if he gets taken, then if you don't want the pick, then you can get something else. But if you get this pick, then you get what you wanted. So I guess it's a win-win if you go like that, I think. Anyway, so thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Tell your friends. Leave a comment. And I will see you in the next one.